Okay, I want to give you some stats on something, and then there's several scriptures about it, but there's one that I want to give you on this issue. You know, I've been for the last 23 years involved in politics and helping the family, and I've come to realize that politics is just a merry-go-round. I don't think we ever gonna get politics right, because you can't really, you can't trust the politicians at all. You can't trust the government. And the politicians make all kind of promises before they go to Washington, D.C. You vote for me, I'll set you free. Vote for me, and I'll do this and I'll do that, right? But once they get there, something happens and they change. And then once they're there for a long time, they start to love power, and they just become another politician who want to stay in office. And when I look around, I don't see things getting better in that world anytime soon, unless we can change the hearts and minds of the people. And right now, government is out of control, and these days it's getting worse, and they are all the same. And it's primarily because we, the people, are not in control of it. It's the power's in us, we gotta take it back. But I realized that the most important aspect of the work that I do is when I'm able to point people back to God and show them how to wake up so that they can become the person God intended for them to be. And then from that, they're guided into what they should or should not be doing. And because so many people are asleep today, you know, society is just literally falling apart. It's really, really bad. It's awful. It's worse than what we think. And I think that the most important thing in life is to build a strong family. When you have a strong family, you're going to have strong people. Young and old people, you know, they get stronger. But if you don't have a solid family, you're going to grow up messed up, having weak people. And that's why you have the entertainers, the government, and everybody waiting to deceive. And if you notice that people who are screwed up come from bad families, weak families, even if they have both father and mother in the home, they're still messed up, mentally, emotionally, and physically, and all kind of stuff. And so a strong family means a strong nation. If you want a strong nation, we got to restore the family. And I'm more committed to that today than any other time, because I see everybody I talk to with issues, when you really look into their background, they have messed up parents. And that's why society is weak. It doesn't matter the color or anything like that. And so we have to rebuild families. And though I'm going to live forever, for the next 23 years, I'm more committed to that than anything else, rebuilding strong families. I realize too that if you don't do that, it's hard for people to come back to their natural state of being. And a lot of people struggle with that. They struggle with trying to come back to that natural state of being, whereas if they had good parents, it wouldn't be such a struggle. You'd be able to just see that you're wrong, repent, and be right on course. But if you don't get that, I don't see it coming back. I want to give you a few stats on what it is not to have a father, not to be close to your natural born dad or father. 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. And that is from the National Principal Association report. 71% of all high school dropouts come from fatherless homes. 71% of pregnant teenagers lack a father. And that's from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services press release. 80% of rapists with anger problems come from fatherless homes. That's from the Justice and Behavior. 80% of rapists with anger and problems come from fatherless homes. 85% of children who show behavior disorders comes from fatherless homes. That's from the Center for Disease Control. 85% of those kids. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. Oh, no, I'm sorry, I skipped one. 85% of youth in prison come from fatherless homes. That's from the Texas Department of Correction, 85%. 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. That's from the Bureau of Census. And last but not least, 90% of adolescents, repeat arsonists, live with their mothers. That's from the Psychology Today. 90% of adolescent repeat arsonists. That means the folks who burn down your house, right? Or go to the woods and set a fire. They live with only their mothers. Isn't that like amazing? To me it is. And yet there is not a serious outcry with the primary focus on the men, getting them to overcome whatever it is that's keeping them away from their children so that they can be there. Knowing these stats, you would think there would be rallies in the streets all across the country, dealing with the fathers in the right way the most important thing. But we don't hear it. And if you try to deal with it, then you have a problem. They call you man, you hate women, you hate this, you hate that. If you put that focus, and knowing these stats, isn't that amazing? Even with the rapists, anger problems come from fatherless homes. Before I get to this scripture, for me, it was just mind-blowing to see those stats broken down like that. We need to have a serious national and open debate about this. We need to shine some light on this. This is devastating to hear this. And whenever the dialogue is there, it's always about, well, the father's not there, right? Okay, so the father's not there, yes, and the father needs to be there, yes. But what is happening as a result of the father's not being there that causes these people to grow up and act this way? I was pretty much raised by my grandmother, and not a lot, but my granddad was around, but and my grandmother raising me didn't cause me to go out and burn down somebody's house or go to prison or rape somebody or what all this stuff is doing. It never occurred to me to be that way. So there was even a change in the way that the women were raising their kids at some point in life. Because my grandmother didn't have all this, that she made us that mad, gave us that kind of anger that we wanted to go out and destroy people's properties. And she made it clear that if we went to jail, you know what, go to jail, you're going to stay there until you work your time off. I'm not coming to see you. I'm not accepting phone calls, no collect calls. I'm not spending, even though we didn't have a phone for a long time, I'm not spending any money on you. And her word kept me out of prison. You know what I'm saying? Her words. That is not happening in these cases. What did these mothers do to these children that 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes? What happened to them that made that many children run away from home? What did the mothers do to them, She had to do something. The father's not around, so he didn't do it. What did she do? And that's what we got to discuss. Because if we don't get that dialogue going, a lot of mothers, as you were saying, not going to really look at themselves and say, yeah, I did do that. And you know what? I didn't realize how wrong I was. They're not going to see that because we won't say what it is that they are doing for fear of somebody not liking us. And let me tell you about people. The one thing that I know for sure and without a doubt, and I've seen this in the last 23 years, And it's happened with people that are close to me, far away from me, near me, whatever. One thing that I urge you to never, ever, ever, ever do is put your faith in people. You need to ask God to use the revelation to see if that's going on, period. Because one thing about human nature, which is not of God's nature, it will turn on you. The moment you say something they don't like, the moment you do something they don't like or don't agree with, it turns just like that. I don't care who it is. You better not put your faith in anything physical, person, place, or thing. They will turn on you. That's why God said, only have faith in God. Only have faith in Him, because that's the only thing that's going to last. Nothing else is going to last. Your daddy will turn on you, your mama will turn on you, your brother, your sister, your friend, your cousin, your white friend, your black friend, your female friend, your male friend. The sister in the alley, they will turn on you. The sister in the alley came from a song. Y'all heard it before? They will turn on you. I've seen it. And you think, wow, we are so tight, there's no way that this person ever turn. You better put your faith in God. Otherwise, you would never be able to be absolutely honest with love. You would never be able to feel free if your faith is in anything but God. And one of the reasons that a whole lot of folks are not talking about what these people are doing to these children, for fear of losing something. Losing a friend, losing money, losing prestige, losing a job, losing something. And as long as this is not dealt with, no government, no money, no programs, no nothing is going to change this situation. And if you've sold out the truth for prestige, for friendship, to appear on this show or that show, then may God have mercy on you. Have you seen that? People will turn. They will turn. They'll like you as long as you go along with them, get along, or have the same opinion. The moment you just say one little iota of disagreement, it changes the relationship just like that. And sometimes if you have fear, you know that before you do it. You already know. If I say this, then I know. Have you seen that? See, we already know this. And that's why a lot of people don't say anything, because they know. If I tell them the truth, if I disagree with this particular incident, it's going to change everything. But you got to make up your mind which one you're willing to give up. That phony friend or God. That money that's here today and gone tomorrow, or God. Faith in God. You got to make your mind on which one you want. And you don't need a major platform to get the truth out there. Your life is the platform. Your environment is the platform. You're the platform. So don't let Satan say, well, if I had a radio show, or if I had an organization, if I had a church, if I was on TV, if I did this, then I can get the truth out. You can get the truth out right with you, right where you are. Your life is a platform. You run into people all the time. And just think of the number of times you ran into people, or you have family members or friendships that you will not tell the truth to because you know what's going to happen. And when you back away because you know what's going to happen, then that person is your God. You don't know God, so stop lying. You might well say, you know what, I can't tell this person the truth because this is my God. I'm not going to speak up about really what these children are dealing with these women, because that's my God. I don't want the people to get mad at me. I don't want them to call me a woman hater or whatever kind of hater. It's bad, folks. It's bad. It's awful, because Satan won't let the light shine on what is happening in these homes, what these mothers are doing to these children that make them act that way. Kids do not pop out of mama's womb and decide, I'm going to go out and burn out somebody's house. Something happened to bring them to that. And it's happening through these mothers. And they may not even understand what's driving them because no one has told them the truth that would allow them to see why they did that kind of stuff. I'm just saying.